Welcome into Minnesota Vikings Now. I am Tom Downey, and the Vikings are cheeks as they lose 29-27 to the previous winless Detroit Lions, a game in which Minnesota took a 6-point lead in the first quarter, allowed 20 points in the second quarter alone. They're down 20-6. They make a fourth quarter rally. Kirk Cousins, Justin Jefferson, looks like it's going to be the game-winning score in the late in the fourth quarter. And then the Lions and Jared Goff march all the way down the field and score to take down Minnesota and potentially, as we'll get into, begin the beginning of the end of the Mike Zimmer era in Minnesota. I think I speak for many of you when I think this was an embarrassing loss by Minnesota. If you are in agreement with me, like the video, as weird as that might sound. Let's show some semblance of support as Minnesota loses a bad one against Detroit. There is a noteworthy injury update I want to hit before going back to talk about the game and Mike Zimmer as well. Adam Thielen left the game early with a goose egg on the one catch for 0 yards on 2 targets due to a sprained ankle. Now, Thielen was able to walk around the sideline throughout the game, but he had been ruled questionable to return initially, then ruled out early after halftime. His exact recovery timetable is unknown. I'll make this point, though. The Vikings have a short turnaround here coming up on Thursday Night Football. I would not be surprised if Adam Thielen misses that game for Minnesota. Back to the game, what this means for the Vikings. Mike Zimmer is very much on the hot seat. The Vikings fall to 5-7 and could not beat, on the road, the worst team in the NFL. This was a game the Vikings unequivocally had to have. They had to win this game to stay in a pretty decent spot in the playoff hunt. Instead, they come out and get boat raced in the second quarter, and then the defense, which is banged up, I know, allows Jared Goff to drive down and play like Jared Good and score the game-winning walk-off touchdown. If you're Minnesota, unacceptable. This team has lost more games in creative ways than any team in recent memory. And that includes the Lions themselves, since Detroit actually won this game. So I'm going to make this question the pinned comment on today's video. Do you want Mike Zimmer fired? Type FZ for fire Zimmer, or type in KZ for keep Zimmer. I'm going FZ, but I want to hear from you guys. If you get the ad break here on YouTube, head down to the pinned comment and type your votes. Looking ahead now to the Vikings schedule the rest of the way. 3, for now, primetime games. Thursday Night Football against the Steelers. As we film this, they are losing against the Ravens. That could really be a true playoff elimination game, frankly. At the Bears, the struggling Bears on Monday Night Football. Home against the Rams. What is, for now, a Sunday Night Football game. I would not be surprised if that game gets flexed out of Sunday Night Football. And then again against the Bears. The Vikings, now sitting at 5-7, are in a very unenviable situation in the playoff race, with Washington, at least for now, again as we film this, beating the Raiders, which will put them in the number 7 seed, putting the Vikings a pretty big ways back of the playoff hunt, a full game. Minnesota's got to win a bunch of games down the stretch. They are still in the mix, and even if they finish with 9 wins, there is a chance that they find a way to boost their status and get to where I know they are desperately trying to be at the current moment. So will the Vikings make the playoffs this year? I don't think they're going to, although they are still alive. Let me know what you guys have to say. Y for yes or N for no. Let's talk about the quarterback now, Kirk Cousins, in this one. Now, he had a brutal fumble, not reflected on this. His numbers look great. 30 of 40, 340, 2 touchdowns. You should expect to win games when your quarterback, who did take some bad sacks, plays like that. Was not the case whatsoever for Minnesota as they lose to the Lions. Cousins led the go-ahead drive. There are still moments in which he's just not quite there all the way. They missed the 2-point try, but, that was a run, so it's not his fault. I thought Cousins played fine, but it's just kind of more of the same of, is he really going to be good enough to lead you to where you need to be when the ground game is only averaging 3.7 yards per carry. Now, I want to do daily Vikings videos for you guys moving forward, but we need more subscribers. Our Lions channel, who beat the Vikings today, yikes, they've got more subscribers. So sub right now so we can start doing daily Vikings videos. Hit that big red button and join us. The undisputed MVP of the day for Minnesota was Justin Jefferson. On 14 targets, in large part because Adam Thielen got hurt so early, 11 catches, 182 yards, and a touchdown. The number one receiver for Minnesota absolutely balled out in this one, had what I thought was going to be the game-winning score. The results for Minnesota were embarrassing. Jefferson, though, embarrassed the Lions secondary in this one. If you had him in fantasy, I played against him, and it's probably going to cost me a playoff spot. Congrats. Jefferson was nothing short of spectacular. The stat line for Minnesota offensively should have been enough to win. 426 yards, 326. He took 3 sacks for 14. The bad turnover. You rallied so strong down the stretch, and yet you just could not find a way to get it done. It was an underwhelming performance overall by the Vikings. The offense, can't blame them too much. And I'll give credit, by the way, to Alexander Mattison. I thought he played pretty well. 22 carries, 90 yards, 1 touchdown. No Dalvin Cook. Mattison did his job pretty well. Didn't bust any big runs, nothing longer than 11 yards. But I thought he filled in very well for Dalvin Cook. Kenny Nwangu got some targets and some carries, 5 targets / carries, only had about 4 yards. Madison's clearly the better back right now for the Vikings. We'll see what happens on that front moving forward. So I want you guys now to rate the Vikings offense against the Lions. Use a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being, they're terrible, they suck. 10 being, well, actually, they played pretty well. Let me know what you guys have to say in the comments section. Now, I'll let you guys in on a secret here. Tomorrow, or maybe it's Tuesday, whenever we get around to it, we will be doing Mike Zimmer replacement video. And if and when he does get fired, we've got you guys covered. Hit that big red button and subscribe today. Jared Goff was at times Jared Goof with his 3 sacks, interception, and a fumble, but also Jared Good. And overall, I thought he played pretty well, given that the ground game was fairly iffy. It was actually almost identical numbers on the ground for Minnesota and the Lions. The Lions ran for 100 yards on 27 carries. Minnesota ran for 100 yards on 27 carries, and both had a long of 11. Minnesota had the touchdown, though, by Alexander Mattison. The Vikings should have won this game, or maybe gotten blown out by more and not rallied. In the end, this is a bad, bad loss for the Vikings. And the defense, make no mistake, deserves a lion's share of the blame for get it? Lion's share. I didn't mean to do that one. For allowing 23rd quarter points and the game-winning drive in 1:50 to go 75 yards. You can't do that. And that's a big reason why Minnesota, maybe Mike Zimmer, are at the end of their season and, I guess, head coaching career for the Vikings. I want to end on some positive-ish notes here. Some defensive standouts for the Vikings. And I made note of DJ Wonnum, I believe, last week. He again stepped up with no Everson Griffin, no Danielle Hunter. Wonnum has played a lot of snaps for the Vikings, and he's got a couple sacks in a couple of games, 2 quarterback hits today, plus a pass breakup. I thought he played pretty damn well. Cameron Dantzler had a massive interception for the Vikings, plus 2 pass breakups, but I believe, and I based this on my live watch, I'm 100% sure, but I think it was Dantzler who got beat by Amon-Ra St. Brown for the game-winning score, and that's not one you can allow. As bad as the Lions' passing game is, I know that the Vikings didn't have Patrick Peterson. Let Jared Goff throw for 296 with Amon-Ra St. Brown bringing in 10 catches for 86 yards. Come on, guys. Be better. One very positive performance, and I owe an apology for saying they should have played somebody else, was Blake Lynch. No Anthony Barr in this game, so they ran a lot of Nick Vigil and Lynch. Lynch had 9 tackles, 2 sacks, a fumble recovery and a forced fumble all in one play, and a tackle for loss. The Vikings linebacking core was decimated in this game. Vigil got beat a lot in coverage. I thought Blake Lynch made quite a few noteworthy splash plays in the end. Maybe he's earned some more reps moving forward.